Hi everybody, Sergeant Salt and Pepper back again to do another record video. Today was Record Store Day 2025 and I haven't done a record store day in years. So with a new turntable and me starting to get new records again, I went out for Record Store Day today. It was a nice day out, had a good time. Unfortunately, I went to two record stores. I didn't see a lot of the official releases for Record Store Day. So I ended up just kind of getting records I wanted to get, which is still fine. So first I visited Matt Anthony's record shop in Louisville. If you haven't been to Matt Anthony's, it's a cool little record store. The guy that runs it, very nice. And I went in, I only got two records. So not a lot, but, I found two good records. So I found Oscar Peterson and Harry Edison. Oscar Peterson, a great jazz pianist, and Harry Edison, who is a great trumpet player. So this was something that they did together in 1974. I think this will be fun. So that was one thing. The other thing I found was something peculiar. This is a Beatles thing. It's called Covers and Cookies of Lennon, McCartney, and the Beatles. We Can Work It Out sampler. So it has 3 tracks on here. It has Chocolate Snow, I don't know who that is, doing A Day in the Life. Al Green, who I'm very familiar with, doing I Want to Hold Your Hand. And Byron Lee and the Dragonaires doing Live and Let Die. So I thought this was something interesting. It was Beatles related. I'm currently working on doing a large video. It's going to be a probably pretty long video where I am collecting a bunch of records that are Beatles related. Not actual Beatles records, but I'm talking records where like other people play the Beatles music, or it's like songs about the Beatles or parody songs. And I'm just going to do a big video and kind of go through all of them. Well, as I passed Matt Anthony's, as I went to Matt Anthony's, I passed along the way another record shop called Surface Noise. I'd never been to this one, but it was a little tiny record shop. Older guy ran it. Walked in, saw some things, quite a few things actually. So first we have a compilation. It's called Do It Now, 20 Giant Hits as Advertised on TV. And what makes this compilation interesting is it has a Beatles song on it, which is Nowhere Man. And that's kind of rare because, Apple, and I guess even before Apple, whatever company, EMI, that controlled the rights to all the songs, they didn't just put Beatles songs on compilation albums because that was just not, if it wasn't something that they released. But this one, somehow they were able to do it. It's a Ronco teleproduct. And there's other stuff on here, Neil Diamond, Janis Joplin, Jimi Hendrix. So, I said, well, that's got to be interesting. So next we have my favorite Bob Dylan record of all time. Now, a lot of people like Bob Dylan. A lot of people don't like Bob Dylan. It's, either you love him or you hate him. It's one thing or the other. But a lot of people think one of his best albums is Blonde on Blonde. And that is a really great album. I really like that album. But my favorite Dylan album is Blood on the Tracks. I like this album a lot. In fact, I like it. I love it so much that I actually painted the cover years ago on a canvas. And if I can find that picture, I'll probably throw it up here. But this, to me, is one of Dylan's most personal albums. He was going through a breakup with his, I believe, wife at the time, Sarah. And so there's a lot of really personal songs on here that talk about love and loss and, you know, great album. So I had to pick it up. I actually, believe it or not, I had a lot of Dylan albums back in the day. I don't think I had that one. Next, we pick up, I bought this just because I thought this would be something funny to check out. This is the Rhino Brothers present the world's worst records. So some of the worst records. There's The Crusher by the Novas, Big Girls Don't Cry by Edith Massey, I Want My Baby Back, Jimmy Cross, I Like Heathen Dan, Kazooed on Classics by the Temple City Kazoo Orchestra. You know, this would just be kind of a fun novelty thing to have. So yeah. Next up, another one that will be going towards that Beatles video I mentioned. I actually did used to have this one. I don't know if I had this particular version, but this is All This in World War II. This was a soundtrack to a movie that came out in the 70s, and what's unique about it is it's all Beatles songs with different bands, different groups doing covers. So you have Ambrosia, Elton John, the Bee Gees, Leo Sayer, Brian Ferry, Roy Wood, Keith Moon. A lot of people, I think even like Peter Gabriel's on here. And I believe that this has like a poster too and a lot of other stuff. So that's really cool. And last I found at Surface Noise, because I like these compilations. These compilations are always fun. This is the British Pop Collection 60 Original Top 10 Hits. So, you know, this is just something fun. I love 60s music. I'll just quickly kind of run through some stuff that's on here. You got Step Inside, Love, Cilla Black, A Wider Shade of Pale, Procol Harum, the Hollies are on here, Dusty Springfield. They even have a Beatles track on here because this is an EMI Records, it says compilation from 1982, She Loves You's on there. Do Wah Diddy Diddy, Manfred Mann, you know, you got the Animals, you got Tom Jones, Cat Stevens, the Searchers, the Trogs, the Kinks, Sandy Shaw, Helen Shapiro, Engelbert Humperdinck, the Yardbirds, Wayne Fontana. So a lot of really great groups on here. This will be a fun listen to go through all that 60s pop. And then lastly, these are some records that just came in the mail today. So quickly go through these. Basie's Beatle Bag, Count Basie doing Beatles music. So as I said, these are all these Beatle related records are all going to go towards a big video where I'm going to discuss them. This one's interesting. This is Beatles Songs, the Best of the Beatles Novelty Records. So these are songs about the Beatles that other people have done. So you have like the Ruddles doing Hold My Hand. You have Casey Kasem. There's the Quarrymen, Beatle Rap. There's Peter Cook and Dudley Moore, L.S. Bumblebee. That was a song that these two guys, Peter Cook, Dudley Moore, famous British comedians, they recorded this song that was meant to be kind of like in the style of like something like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, very psychedelic and trippy. And people put it out there on like bootlegs and stuff, not knowing that it wasn't a Beatles song, and people thought it was, even though it's actually not. You have Wildman Fisher on here, Alan Sherman doing Pop Hates the Beatles. So, you know, it's a fun compilation of songs about the Beatles. And lastly, not Beatles related, but just something I thought would be fun to have. James Taylor, American Standard. I love it when people like James Taylor and Willie Nelson, people that don't normally do the old standards, I love it when they do stuff like this, like My Blue Heaven, Moon River, Teach Me Tonight, you know. it's always fun to hear people's interpretations. And I mentioned Bob Dylan earlier, and he's done a bunch of standards albums too, and they're really good. So that was my finds for Record Store Day 2025. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a big video really soon about Beatle-related records. It's going to be really cool. Take care. See you all next time. Bye.